Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Joshua Dobbs was just traded to the Minnesota Vikings from the Arizona Cardinals, ending the Arizona Cardinals Joshua Dobbs era. So in today's video of Mike Talk Sports, we are going to be giving the Joshua Dobbs retrospective in Arizona to answer a couple of questions. What did the Josh Dobbs era look like in Arizona? And how good was Josh Dobbs for the Arizona Cardinals actually? In the midst of a disastrous season for the Arizona Cardinals last year, that disastrous season got even worse in week 12 of the season as their franchise quarterback Kyler Murray, who they just gave a huge extension to, went down with a bad ACL tear, effectively ending the Cardinals season for not only last year, but for the 2023 NFL season as well, as Kyler was set to miss at least the first half of the 2023 season, and it was significantly up in the air who was going to be the day one starter for the Cardinals in 2023. And who would lead the team under center for the majority of the season without Kyler Murray. After the NFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals went into training camp with Colt McCoy, rookie Clayton Tune, and David Blau as their three main quarterbacks competing for that starting job. And as the vast majority of media pundits and members thought Colt McCoy would be the day one starter, I, along with the Cardinal faithful, knew this would not be the case, as Colt McCoy was absolutely washed, and the Cardinals season would be absolutely miserable trying to watch Colt McCoy roll out there every single week. So it really was between Clayton Tune and David Blau, and I officially made a prediction video on how I was very confident that Colt McCoy would get cut before the season, and it would come between Clayton Tune and David Blau. And though I thought David Blau would get the nod, I did foresee Clayton Tune getting at least one start before Kyler Murray came back. And while this prediction wasn't too far off, I, along with no one on planet Earth, couldn't have predicted what happened next for the Cardinals. Now, before I tell you guys what happened next for the Cardinals, let me dive a little bit into Josh Dobbs to get you guys a better understanding of what Josh Dobbs was up to during this entire time. Now, Josh Dobbs was drafted in the 4th round of the 2017 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he ended up bouncing around a couple of teams until last year. He ended up getting picked up by the Tennessee Titans, and he was thrusted into a tough situation, a win or go home Week 18 game to clinch the playoffs and to clinch their division up against the Jaguars. And though Josh Dobbs on short notice played valiantly, having a lead for the vast majority of this game, they ended up losing this game and missing the playoffs to the Jaguars 20-16. After the season, the Tennessee Titans did not re-sign him, but no worries for Josh Dobbs. He was picked up almost immediately into the offseason on March 23rd as Josh Dobbs signed a deal with the Browns to be their backup. In this moment in time is where Josh Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals crossed paths, because on August 24th, 17 days before the Cardinals season opener up against the Washington Commanders, they ended up trading for Josh Dobbs for a 5th round pick, and the Browns also sent a 7th round pick in this deal. The Cardinals were going into the season with a rookie head coach, a rookie play caller as well on the offensive side in Drew Petzing. So not only did Josh Dobbs have to learn the entire playbook in 17 days, he also had to do so under a rookie head coach and a rookie offensive coordinator as well, really adding to the level of difficulty that had Josh Dobbs going into the season. And even though the Cardinals lost this matchup up against the Commanders 20-16 in a very exciting close game, and Josh Dobbs didn't play great in this game, I, along with many Cardinals fans, were so happy to see Josh Dobbs under center, and we're so relieved that it wasn't Colt McCoy and it was Josh Dobbs. Why is this? Josh Dobbs, if you're going to be bad, Josh Dobbs is so exciting to have in there. He's not your classic backup who has a high floor and a low ceiling. Instead, Josh Dobbs is a guy with a low floor but somewhat of a high ceiling. He's going to leave a lot of plays on the table, but he's going to make a lot of plays not many quarterbacks in the NFL could make. So if you're going to lose games, you might as well do it in exciting fashion, and this is immediately what Josh Dobbs brought to the table. After losing a close Week 2 game 31-28 up against the New York Giants, Josh was set to face the undefeated 2-0 Dallas Cowboys, who were just off of an incredible 2-win streak of absolutely demolishing teams, and Josh Dobbs went in there and beat the 2-0 Cowboys 28-16. Now in this game, he had 108 189 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 55 rushing yards, really showing off that athleticism and that it factor in the running game for Josh Dobbs. And the most impressive part about this entire game for Dobbs in this offense was that 81 completion percentage, really showing off how surgical Josh Dobbs can be out there when he's playing at his best. But in my opinion, his best individual performance came in the following week up against the juggernaut at the time undefeated San Francisco 49ers. And though the Cardinals did lose this game 35-16, again, in my opinion, this was a really nice performance from Josh Dobbs, and it was fun as hell watching him out there. In this game, he accounted for a total of 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 fumble on a 68 completion percentage. In this game, he led the Cardinals to their highlight drive of the entire year, and arguably the highlight drive of Joshua Dobbs' entire life, leading a 99-yard touchdown drive in the second half, which was vital for a comeback effort for the Cardinals. And even though they came up short, I thought Josh Dobbs played pretty clutch in this game. Now, unfortunately for the Arizona Cardinals and Josh Dobbs, they would go on to lose every other game that Josh Dobbs would be starting for them. And really, in my opinion, his 2 lows were against the Bengals and against the Ravens last week. So up against the Bengals, the Cardinals did lose this game 34-20. So on a surface level, it was more so of the defense's fault, but this was still in a time where the Bengals were somewhat beatable, and Josh Dobbs had a 46 completion percentage in this game, really struggling with his accuracy. So many missed throws in this game for Josh Dobbs. He only had 167 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 turnovers, and really the turnovers started to pile up for Dobbs and this offense. And then last week was a very similar story as well, when on a surface level, looking at this Ravens team in this Ravens loss, only losing 31-24 is very impressive with a 67 completion percentage. But again, the Ravens really looked off for this entire game, and this was even proven by a missed rare field goal by Justin Tucker. And to me, again, it's the turnovers. Josh Dobbs did have 3 total turnovers in this game. So in 8 games for the Arizona Cardinals as a starter, Dobbs went 1-7. He averaged 196 passing yards a game, 32.3 rushing yards a game. He ended with a total of 8 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions, which is pretty solid for a backup quarterback. He did have 3 rushing touchdowns as well, and he did have a league high of 8 fumbles. And again, this of course brings us to today, where Kirk Cousins last week tore his Achilles, and Josh Dobbs is now going to do the same exact thing potentially with the Vikings that he just did with the Cardinals and he just did with the Titans. Come in on short notice and make a start. Even though I do expect Jaren Hall to start at least the next game for the Vikings, Josh Dobbs is set to make at least 1 start for the Vikings at some point in this season, really adding to the legacy and the resiliency of Josh Dobbs being able to come into the NFL on several NFL teams, and regardless of his knowledge of the playbook, come in and give his best effort in there. As an Arizona Cardinals fan, I want to thank Josh Dobbs from the bottom of my heart for making a 1-7 season as entertaining as humanly possible. Again, in my opinion, if I'm going to watch the Cardinals absolutely suck all year, I might as well watch it with Josh Dobbs under center, because he's vastly more entertaining than the vast majority of backup quarterbacks in the NFL because of some of the high upside plays he made this season. Now, I will be honest though, I was really ready to see Clayton Tune out there for the past couple of weeks though, because the Cardinals might as well see if they have their long-term solution at the backup quarterback position with their rookie Clayton Tune. In retrospective though, Josh Dobbs was an absolute dub and a positive for the Cardinals season. I really don't care what anyone else has to say. I think Josh Dobbs absolutely deserves his flowers for what he did with the Cardinals, even though as a Cardinals fan, I was very frustrated with his play sometimes. Overall, again, he was very entertaining to watch, and at the end of the day, that's really all that matters on a bad team. Also, to end the video, I do think Josh Dobbs extended his shelf life in the NFL, honestly, for a couple of years because of what he did with the Cardinals this season. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Mike Talk Sports. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Joshua Dobbs in the entire Joshua Dobbs era in Arizona? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed today's video, I really appreciate it, guys. Smack that like and hit subscribe.